setting up for the opportunity to go an interesting mid. Valentina picked up as well, can copy the ultimate of a big roam or somebody who has a big impact on team fights. So warding away certain picks, still, things like the Uranus available.
I feel like Aurora should pick up the Paquito because that opens up a double fighter composition.
The Paquito is actually still open. Yes, a flex that they can eventually put onto Sigibum.
Yeah.
I agree. But aside from the Paquito...
I mean, like, even Barat's Paquito is already pretty strong. So they pick up the Barats here. And they pick up the Cho instead. And again, I feel like this is just them showing that they just want a lot of early game here.
And do they want to take it away from Kiboy, who had a really good performance as well?
Yeah, they got to be very careful about their jungler here. There's just so much setup potential. And it's very specific. It's a lockdown type of composition from Aurora.
We haven't seen the Ling, and hearing from scrims, it looks like Ling has really fallen off. So, I don't know. The other junglers, Nolan is still pretty good. If you want to go for utility, which I guess you kind of can, but... Or the Harley. I think the Harley would also be okay-ish.
Yeah,
there it is.
Go for the Harley.
I think this is better. Because if they went utility, it's still not going to have a great time.
Yep.
Even the Akai is just going to get chomped by the Barats. And any other assassin, because I think Kyrie's only used 3.
Yeah. So now in terms of the ban here, I feel like for Aurora, just ban... I think banning out a Paquito already helps you out quite a lot here, because I feel like for ONIC, one of their win conditions is to force Aurora on a traditional marksman, giving much more value for this Harley. And the Belleric.
There's a lot of marksmen that Keller can actually still pick up if they really want to go for Shred.
Because here's the thing, Aurora, I think what's smart about them is that they have this Cho. Meaning that they can use something like a carry. Right? Like, having a Cho really opens up quite a lot in draft.
Uranus banned out from Aurora.
And the Rafa.
Yeah.
But it's ONIC picking next after this phase. So
Fun fact, Uranus and Rafa, they have a relationship together.
Did they really?
Yeah.
In the Land of Dawn?
Yeah.
Are you
like,
lying?
Uranus is fond of her for some reason. Yeah.
Brigitte can't believe it.
yeah, I mean,
Just play the hero.
You're spilling the tea.
Yeah.
Spilling the tea.
I mean,
Did they want that coming out at MSC, or trying to keep that on the down low?
Well,
it's out now.
Knows, yeah.
It's out now.
Nolan also abandoned his daughter,
Okay.
Nolan and wait, who's his relative?
Layla.
Layla.
Yep.
Why'd you point at me?
I
didn't abandon my daughter, man. She was took her to breakfast this morning.
You're a great daddy.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate just dad.
Oh, even the juicing. Okay.
I think an Alice would be an okay ban as well, but they banned out the Lapu here, so I feel like they're just gonna have... It looks like they might go for a traditional marksman. Right?
This will tell us a lot here on the side of Kiboy picking up. We see the Zushin band, the Lapu Lapu as well, which is... I thought it looked amazing yesterday.
Esmeralda is there if ONIC wants that to deal with the Barats.
Yeah, they might just
Honestly,
match the lane.
Even the Yuzong would be pretty okay here against Aurora.
My question is, are they doing something funky? I mean, that's my question on this. And I know it's going to be very clear probably after this that they're not. But Belleric EXP, I mean, it would be weird.
Yeah.
But if you get something that can win outside of that, that catches Aurora off guard, I'm just wondering if ONIC are trying to play this in a way where they surprise Aurora.
No, honestly, that's a good point, because Belleric is not great if you're going up against a very fast EXP laner, right? Like a Benedetta, like a Lapu. But you're going up against a Barat, so you're equally slow. It makes it so that it's not a bad pick. So, yeah. ONIC can still flex the Belleric, honestly.
And you can pretty much say the same for the matchup in mid. If they really want to rotate faster and utilize their advantage, then maybe just put something alongside the Valentina that can just be as equally aggressive. But Aurora, pick up the Paquito since it wasn't banned. But the Luyi is the surprise here.
Actually, I really feel like if they pick up a Yuzong, they can win this matchup quite hard, because it wins against the Barats. And then the bad thing about the Luyi is you have no dash. So once an EXP laner gets onto you, he's going to stay there forever.
Final pick here. ONIC, to me, could make a statement. Come out here, try to catch Aurora off guard. And they don't. They go Esma. That's a very safe pick. It kind of nullifies that lane.
Yep. And it can still jump on the Luyi.
It can.
One of the heroes that can use a Purify, which I feel like this is one of those games that it's okay for you to have a Purify.
Yeah, at the very least, they have a Harley. I think I will be okay with that. So they have ways to at least penetrate the back lines and go in for pickoffs, because apart from that, the Balearic and the Esmeralda, they, as you mentioned, seem very safe. So let's see how ONIC play this out against this hyper-aggressive lineup that Aurora draft.
ONIC knows they're trying to survive. They're not trying to lose early, because if they go late game, they can get these fans at the Lenovo Legion Gauntlet even hyper than they are to kick off this first game. It's time to begin our second and last series of the day. It's ONIC versus Aurora Gaming, and to call the action, we've got Naisu and Gideon. Fellas?
Thank you so much, Rain Day. Welcome, everybody. The series that everybody has been anticipating for. It's Aurora facing off against ONIC in a best of 5. Everybody's had their opinions of ONIC, but everybody has seen Aurora as a legitimate threat to the throne. But who is going to come up on top here?
Man, you know, today and the past couple days have been a whole lot of sweep action that we've seen, and hopefully this one goes the distance here, because you know, moving forward, semifinals next, you want to go ahead and see them bring it the distance, and the drafts will have the distance for Aurora. I mean, the Louis Yi pick has only been brought up, what, one time? This is now the second time Louis comes through. Again, leave it up to Coach Midnight to make these drafts interesting, right? And sometimes that can work for you, sometimes it works against you, but we have seen some amazing setups with that diversion play.
Yep, some really great stuff across the board, and I want to see how creative they actually went through. We saw, you know, Coach Midnight already talking very expressively to the rest of his players about what exactly may or may not happen, or certain mechanics. We're not 100% sure here, but really that diversion could be the difference maker. They're playing a double fighter comp, which is already pretty scary when you don't have like a dedicated scaler, so we know that Aurora are the ones on a timer in comparison to ONIC. We're seeing Wilderness Blessings, we're even seeing a Brave Smite coming out of Rosa, which is atypical for low Yis nowadays, because dear lord, like LaFell mentioned, once Lutfi is on top of him, it's going to be difficult for Rosa to get away.
I would say if you look at this for Aurora Gaming, one of the great things about the composition that can go against that setup from Lutfi or anything else is they have a ton of options to just set things up, you know, between pick-off potential here. Looks like Tianzi's going to do a little bit of damage to Keyboy, but just keeps him at bay. And whether that's the kick, you know, from Pagu with that Way of the Dragon, or, you know, Lunar jumping in. I mean, how many times now have we seen the Barretts be placed into that XP lane? The amount of ground coverage Barretts has, especially with a flicker in Daytona's welcome combo, is kind of insane.
It is. It's really good, but at the same time, right, there's still also the Valentina coming in from Sans. Now, this fight could be a make it or break it here, as we can see that they don't have first position, but here comes the TP.
Well, Pagu just trying to buy some time for that diversion. That's Aurora comes through. There's the Daytona's welcome. There's going to crash on the wall. Sans is gone, but Kyrie will be able to secure the objective. And now Lunar going to try to fight it off here, but gets taken down. So ONIC winning the trade.
Really nice trade so far. It's a little sad for Lunar, but somebody has to take the damage, right? Really nicely played by ONIC side. This gives Kelra just a little bit of time to actually breathe for the moment. Let's do this replay one more time, right? Because Aurora understood one thing. We are going to fight for this neutral objective. Unfortunately, we don't have Pagu to actually open up the map any further. But at this point, trading out against them just isn't worth the time. We already got that one kill onto Sans. At this point, we just need to make sure that we're minimizing the losses, because unfortunately for Lunar, despite Lutfi eventually going to outscale him, he manipulates the waves really, really well.
Yeah, so probably with this kind of setup, you know, Aurora, if they can't find plays like that with a diversion or the pickoffs that they're looking for, then what do they wait for? You know, Tianzi to get stacks like we've seen before on this, like possibly the Sky Piercer for that Hirara. Sigiboom has probably been one of the better performing Paquito gold laners that we've seen so far throughout MSC. Again, I can't forget how he played it against DLPH, and you know, that's one thing that can be said too, that they can utilize here throughout this game.
Yeah, and I think that that's going to be the main win condition, right? Especially since they're on a timer. They still have like about 6... Oh, hold on.
Whoa, that's a timer right there too. Kyrie's going to be able to get away, taking out Pagu. Man, it's just, again, all you have to do is play around that deadly magic once it's up.
Yep, and most importantly, wait, hold on. Gonna get a quick TP here just to open up the map and get a good idea of where TNZ might be looking to hide, knowing that the purple buff is going to spawn in about 12 seconds. This next neutral objective is going to be difficult to contest for. Lukby has so much of an advantage against Lunar because of the previous interaction by Turtle side, so I think this should be a no contest overall, but that depends on what Aurora is going to do with this, because I'm seeing members making their way up towards this top side, and Kelra, he's only got the Purify, so once BMI is down, he's sort of a sitting duck.
They just want to go ahead and trade it out, right? Objective for potential play across the map.
Oh, delivery service?
Yep. Diversion's going to be used right to that mid lane. Pagu this time, the difference here is he's actually got the kick available. Last time they fought for this, he was only level 3. Lunar is going to jump it. Daytona's welcome. Pagu trying to zone out Sans. Already using that Keyboy now. Half health gets kicked right to the team. Will deliver Keyboy up. And Lunar will secure the turtle. So Aurora fighting back, and now they're going to be crashing it down in the mid lane. Pushing them back further. Luffy has the shields and space to work with. Did pop the Purify and will survive.
Good use of the Purify there. I thought Pagu for sure was going to get in, clapped on the third hit of G Kundo. Manages to walk out of it to save his life. So not bad. It's 2 for 2. Not a real advantage overall. I think even when we're looking at the jungle sectors, right? Even Kyrie being able to steal away at least one of these turtles puts him slightly ahead of TNZ, while everybody else just doesn't seem to be on the back foot, right? Yeah. Lunar and Lutfi have evened out. Sigabum actually has a bit of a lead onto Keller because of that double waving, and we're waiting for it to accumulate to maximum, a critical mass, as they call it. Oh no, Keller, does he know?
Diversion used. Kelra.
Dive angle.
He does still have the Purify. It's not popped yet. Kyrie's going to re-enter here. They go in. Wrath of Dry to follow up. Pagu already goes for the kick. They burn the flicker from Sans, but Siggy Boom comes in with a 1-2. Able to pick up one, and they'll eat another. Taking out Key Boy. Aurora finds 2.
They're eating good today. They're eating very, very good. And Kelra ends up missing the wave this time round. Oh, wait, actually, 1 minion manages to slip through, but Aurora, they're not done yet. They're looking for mid-tier 1.
Yep, and Kyrie had to back off of this. So then Luffy just left to his own devices. Will get taken out, dissected from the team.
Man, you can tell the difference between a good Barretts and a bad Barretts, how they flickered their Detona's welcome, but the usage of the rocket jets to predict, hey, if you purify, if you flicker, this is the angle you're gonna be in, and I can knock you right back into the fight, making these chases so much harder to leave.
That's right. Yep.
That's my king.
Coach Midnight, again, has been a key part of what Aurora Gaming has been able to accomplish so far through this time. Again, this draft, something a little bit different than what we've seen, but it's just this execution from Aurora Gaming that has been so well. Again, there wasn't a huge lead that they had until now. It's not that it's massive already, but it's 2.6K that switched on very quickly off of 1 or 2 fights. And so now ONIC playing on the back foot, they've got to be able to readjust this. This third turtle's coming up here. We'll see if they actually want to go ahead and approach this or just wait. Already half health on this turtle. Again, Daytona's welcome. Pagu looking for the follow-up. Wrath of Triumph! There's so much damage in that central point. Siggy Boom won't be able to follow through the flicker, but there it is. TNZ will. A stack secured. And now he's going to be able to get away here so easily as they look for another.
Oh my God!
Oh no, Kyrie gets kicked. I know you're a wizard, Harley, but you can't get away.
Oh my goodness, Aurora playing out of their minds. The red herrings, they make it look so easy right now, but they're just not missing a single beat. They're not too tunnel vision. They're still open-minded to the way that these fights need to actually progress. Let's look at the replay one more time, right? Because again, this was an incredible catch here, spitting him right into Keyboy's face, making sure, despite the fact that Sans tried to flicker on out of there, dashed twice to make it all happen. The chase, the rundown from Aurora squad, it's difficult to beat. Once that major impact is landed and Keyboy doesn't have that Wrath of the Dryads, it's so much harder for ONIC to peel them away.
The unfortunate thing is once the Wrath of the Dryad is dropped down, that's also just a clear signal for Rosa to be like, okay, you want to fight here? I'm just going to go ahead and get these yin-yang interactions procced off, you know, and pump out enough damage. Everyone's centered around that Wrath of the Dryad setup anyway from Keyboy that that the Luigi pick is actually a great counter into that.
And that's the thing. It's about finding the anchors here. So far, Aurora, Rosa has been generally untouched this entire game. And, you know, given the caliber of player, Rosa just doesn't seem to ever be out of position. And that's where Pagu comes in saying, I'm willing to die for the Thorn Queen every single time, if necessary, just to make sure that Rosa doesn't fall behind. On the opposite side, right, ONIC doesn't necessarily have a dedicated anchor. When you are pulling backwards, who do you fall back to if not Sans?
Yeah, that's why one of the things, again, if you look at what ONIC can do here as they fall further behind, man, 7,000 gold deficit for ONIC. You've got to play into the Claude, right? You've got to go ahead and let Kelra get to that point, but then even so, if you already have the Trinity, you walk into those team fights, it's going to be the same case where you're just overloaded with that damage, that front damage that Aurora has to play around with, and this Lord is going to go freely over to Aurora Gaming.
Well, that's a really good point here. In just a little bit, Zipper, could you pull up the items? I mean, we need to know how far Kelra is from that Trinity as of right now. I think he should already be done with Golden Staff based on the total amount of gold the team has, but I'm not 100% sure. In the meantime, though, Sigaboom, this is probably the strongest he is going to be throughout the game. He legitimately can 1v1 Kyrie, Sans, and Kelra if they just walk into a bush, and I think that's the big fear for Aurora. Opening up the map, especially with Keyboy, he's died 3 times opening up the map and fighting for that space. It's just really hard to get back up for him.
We'll see how they play this out. Lord slowly walking up here to this mid lane. They still have the Holy Defense Shields to play around with, but ONIC, again, with this kind of lineup, can they still defend this? 10 minutes into the base, the Lord charges in that mid turret. They're going to have to deal with this wave pushing in as the bottom also turret. Shield pops. Mid turret down. Aurora stays disciplined for now. They'll let them clear out the Lord here and see if they can get more.
I like it. I like it a lot. ONIC says, you know what? Mid inhibitor, whatever. We can deal with it no matter what. As long as it's not the long lane and we have to play this awkward Lord fight every single time, especially dancing around that pit, it's just not worth the effort. And ONIC recognized that, right? It's the setup for the later half of the game to make sure that Kelra is in a good position, because so far, there's probably their only win conditions besides, you know, maybe punishing Pagu, maybe punishing Sigaboom. And even then, you kind of need Kyrie +1 to make that happen. Let's look at the items, because finally, we see 2 already completed for Kelra. Kyrie actually opting to go for a more bruiser build this time around. He does not want to die randomly to either Sigaboom or even to someone like Rosa.
Yeah, he's kind of has to, you know? We've seen it, how it happened in the first fights. I mean, that first hurdle, it was just him being patient. He went in with a retribution, but every single team fight after that, you just see how quickly he has to go back in time to survive, you know? And that brute force is going to help him a little bit. Few stacks here for Tienzi. This is what we were mentioning earlier on. You know, you're going to pick up that Herara, you're going to be able to get those stacks. You're a threat in itself. And honestly, if ONIC puts too much to try to deal with Tienzi, that's where, you know, again, they're not paying attention to the rest of the side, the side attack here from Sigaboom or even the diversion from Rosa. There's almost too many things that ONIC has to be wary of in these team fights just because of the nature of composition that Aurora has.
Oh yeah, and I think that's going to be hard for especially Lutfi. As much as he wants to be in the faces, he needs to act as Peel. He needs to cut Lunar off from certain angles and force him to flicker. But as you can see, right, it's moments like this where Lutfi, he can't just stay in front of their face forever. He has to pull in and out consistently to maintain his health.
Okay. Again, at least some defensive items here being picked up now by ONIC, even in Immortality for Keyboy, just to get him there a little bit longer. Kyrie will pick up Genius Wand. Sans has been holding on to the Luigi ult, right, that diversion. Maybe there's some trickery that they can go with to set them out for this fight for the Lord, or potentially take it.
I think the winning play is if Sans steals the Detna's welcome, and he is able to combo with the Falling Star Moon to guarantee somebody gets locked against the wall during a neutral objective. That's my best guess. Because so far, I feel like Aurora are hyper aware of specifically Keyboy. They're like, Kelra, okay, sure, we got flickers, we can get out of it. He only has Purify, so after the BMI, there's no follow-up after that. The next problem will be whether or not we're too low and Kyrie is able to kind of clean this up. Considering his build, we're not going to get one shot. It's over a duration of time. So really just boils down to how Lutfi, Sans, or even Keyboy finds an out-of-the-box play.
The out-of-the-box play is going to have to happen in the defense, man. Again, with their backs against the wall. This Lord should still be able to be dealt with, though, given the fact that you're 10 minutes in. You know, you've got pretty good clear with this. They can lock it down if they have to, if it's sacrificing that Wrath of the Dryad to go ahead and keep this thing forward away from that crystal. That could be a play for ONIC. But just like them, Pagu's got his own immortality.
Yep.
They've got their defensive items to work with too. They're going to go ahead and push it in. They want to take this top turret down first while ONIC deals with the Lord. They're going to go anyway. Daytona's welcome. Right on target. It's the tankiest member is going to get kicked away too. Keyboy dropping down the Wrath of the Dryad for the back line. TNZ is there zoning everyone away. It's a split fight happening here with already Keyboy buying so much time. Finally goes down. But now Aurora looking to cap out game of 1. ONIC on this defense. They got to clear out these waves. They're still charged up. TNZ will jump in. Able to take out Kaura. And that's going to be it for game 1. ONIC facing a tough loss against Aurora Gaming.
Beautifully played by TNZ. That's how you maintain your lead as Hirara. Just abuse the fact that a lot of her damage is directly tied not only to her items, but specifically from the level. So once you hit that level cap, it's only like 3 seconds